In Hinduism, the dead soul is divided into many parts according to its deeds, such as ghosts, vampires, and BramhaRakshsas. One of these is a soul named BramhaRakshsha. BramhaRakshsha, the name is made up of two words, first Brahma meaning priest and second Rakshasa meaning devil. BramhaRakshsha is that soul, which has the qualities of both priest and devil. When a priest or a knowledgeable person dies an untimely death, he becomes a BramhaRakshsha. Such persons who misuse their knowledge even after being highly knowledgeable, they become BramhaRakshsha. In such a situation, that person becomes very powerful. It is said that BramhaRakshsha has power, from which it is very difficult to get rid of. If a person comes under their clutches, then that person is freed only when he has the will to do so. All tantras and mantras prove useless on him. If any tantric tries to forcefully destroy them, then their destruction is certain. Only those people can be saved from BramhaRakshsha who regularly recite God and visit temple. Only those who have complete faith in God can be saved from them. This action is known as Bhagmati Vidya. If Holy Gita is recited around them, then they can get salvation. Statues in temples of BramhaRakshsas can be seen in Maharashtra and Kerala in the south of India. Sandra and Edward had been married for only 1 year. Both of them did not get enough time spent together due to work. After much effort, both of them get a break together. So they plan to go to Sandra's aunt's house. On the second day in the morning, both of them went to the train station. Doubts were pouring in. That's why the train also got late. After waiting a long time, the train arrived at the station. But it was raining even while the train leaving station. The train was also getting late due to rain. When the train reached the places of the village, it was 10 o'clock in the night. In the city, 10 o'clock means nothing, but in the village, 10 o'clock means it is dark night. There will be no people outside the house. Both got off the train. The station was completely empty. After waiting outside the station, neither Sandra nor Edward found any taxi, so they decided to go to the village by walking. Both are walking on the road. The road was full of ruins. It was extremely silent. The same silence used to spread. Suddenly the dog started barking. Both were very close to the village. Both were passing by crematorium. But Edward suddenly went to the toilet. Edward succumbed to pressure and urinated on a tree. The next day, due to suspicion, Edward's shoulder started to ache. It seemed that some heavy weight was on him. He took medicine, but there was no relief. Edward's pain was kept increasing. Suddenly, Edward saw himself in mirror. He was shocked to see what he saw. He saw something that was hard to believe. He saw a devil on his shoulder. He started trembling. Edward plucks up the courage to see himself in mirror again. The devil was still sitting there. Edward asked while looking in the mirror, "Who are you?" "BramhaRakshsha," said the devil. Frightened Edward asked him, "Why are you bothering me?" Hearing this, BramhaRakshsha disappeared without giving any answer. Edward went and told this to Sandra, but Sandra did not agree. She said, "This is your illusion. You look tired. Should go and rest." Edward also felt that Sandra was right. Edward went to rest in his room. Sandra was watching TV in the hall. Suddenly something scary sounds started coming from Edward's room. Sandra ran towards Edward's room. Sandra saw Edward standing by the window and he was continuously laughing. "What happened, Edward?" Sandra asked. Edward didn't answer anything. He pushed Sandra and ran out of the house. Sandra got up and she also ran behind Edward. When Sandra saw Edward running, he was running like an animal on his hands and feet. Seeing this, Sandra got very scared. Some people of the village also started running behind Sandra. Edward bathed in the upper half of the tree. Sandra saw that it was the same grave near the cemetery where Edward had used the toilet. Seeing Edward, everyone in the village understood that he is in the position of BramhaRakshsha. One of the village priests asked Edward, "What do you want?" Edward spoke in a very scary voice. "This ficus religiosa tree is in my house. I am sitting on this tree, or I have urinated on this tree." Priest said after listening, "Okay. But we have done this unknowingly. You leave Edward, otherwise I will burn this tree." BramhaRakshsha said, "Okay, I will leave him alone now, but he will have to plant new ficus religiosa's tree." Sandra said, "Okay, I'll plant a new ficus religiosa tree, but please leave Edward." Hearing this, the BramhaRakshsas left Edward. Then Sandra and Edward together planted a new ficus religiosa tree. Edward will now think not once, but 100 times before defecating in the open. Along with Edward, you too should think before defecating in the open or in the woods. Have you ever heard or seen anything like this before? Please let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this story, then don't forget to like and share or subscribe to hear new scary crazy story every day. See you in the next story. Till then, take care.
Please like and subscribe to the channel.